Hello everyone and welcome to Money's Worth. Today we'll look at Nobody Wants to Die with a base price of €24.99. I finished one run through of the game in 5 hours. Let's take a look at the gameplay and content and then I will give my opinion of the game. Let's go. Nobody Wants to Die is a story-driven detective game set in a futuristic dystopia. You play as the detective James Kara that is unofficially put onto a case with the detective Sarah Kai. Together you have to solve a series of events linked together with a murder from the first crime scene to try and uncover what is going on. The game is heavily story-driven, and you choose what to respond to the other characters in the game. You get a few responses to choose from, and the other characters will respond to what you choose, and it will somewhat alter the story. You go to different crime scenes and try to find out what happened. To do that, you have a set of equipment at your disposal. The reconstructor can reconstruct crime scenes and put together a timeline in which you can navigate to see what happened. You have to reconstruct multiple sequences to put together the full timeline. When reconstructing a timeline, you do a small mini-game where you use mouse 1 and 2 one by one or at the same time to complete a small game. After that, you can move through the timeline, and the next clue is marked in the timeline on the reconstructor. The UV lamp can show traces of blood and other liquids that you can follow to the source. The X-ray lets you look through people and objects to look for clues. It can also track bullet trajectories. You can take pictures of evidence with your camera to identify people or symbols. With this equipment, you can uncover what happened at a crime scene. If you need help to figure out the next move, you can hit caps lock and the game will go into hint mode and show you where to go. When you're done at a crime scene, you go back to your apartment and put the clues together to try and see the bigger picture. Then something new happens and you go to the next location. The gameplay is somewhat limited since the game is mostly based around the character development and story. Let's look at the content. If you like my review, consider hitting that subscribe button to get notified of my new videos. Thank you. The way the game works is that all your actions strive towards a different ending. To not spoil anything, I can't say much, but your interactions with Sarah and the other characters define how the game will unfold to a certain degree. If you make a new run and answer differently, you will still go to the same locations, but the dialogue changes and ultimately the ending. In every location there are small items you can pick up and examine. These items contain lore and give a deeper understanding of the characters and the history of the game's universe. They are non-essential to progress the story, but if you look through enough stuff, it will unlock more possibilities in your conversations. Let's get into the ratings. The game is totally story-driven. There is no combat or anything other than using the tools to reconstruct the events of the location. I found the small reconstruct game to be a bit underwhelming and it didn't serve any purpose to me. I often had issues with finding what to press next to such an extent that it was a bit annoying. With that being said, the gameplay does what it is supposed to do. Help to tell a story and let you decide some of the outcomes and let you have an impact on what will happen. I'll rate the gameplay a 4 out of 5. My first run through took 5 hours and I wanted to try and get another ending, but found out that I had to play the entire game again, and that took away my eagerness to see what else could happen. So I looked up a YouTube video to see what possible endings there were. The story was alright, but I wasn't blown away, and I felt it could have been longer with more locations to go to. I rate the content a 3 out of 5. Nobody Wants to Die is in the low end of medium-priced games. It tells a somewhat entertaining story and lets you make some decisions along the way. I found myself listening to all the dialogue in my first run, but I would not go back and do it all over again to change small bits of the story. It simply takes too long. But if you really like games where you can go over and over again to see the small differences in the story, this game will definitely be your money's worth. I rate the money's worth a 3 out of 5. I hope you found out if Nobody Wants to Die could be your money's worth. You can look through my other videos to see if you can find games that will be your money's worth. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.